Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much everyone for listening in the podcast. Today is Sunday, December 15, 2024. I wanted to do a follow-up video regarding this case because I know it's been, it's going to be like 2 years already. But I always wonder like what's going on, right? How are the updates regarding this case? I always think about her children, and if you guys, um, don't remember, but I'm talking about the case of Ana Walshe, who was missing around kind of like around this time. Well, I think it was the end of 2022, out of Cohasset, Massachusetts, and she was reported missing 4 days after. The last time that she was seen was on New Year's Eve dinner at her home, having dinner with a family friend in her house with her husband, and the children were there too. And then she was supposed to go to Washington, D.C. for a work emergency, according to what the husband said, Brian. And then she was never heard of, right? And I remember making a couple videos about that. And then, he was arrested on charges related to something else. But what got them investigating him, the husband, Brian Walshe, was the fact that he used his computer to do a lot of suspect internet searches. And now they have officially said when when they're gonna begin trial. Okay. Before I continue, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been subscribing, and thank you, of course, everybody who follows me on Spotify. It really means a lot to you guys, to me, you guys, because when I first started on Spotify, it was very hard to get people to listen. So to see people following me on Spotify really means a lot. Thank you so much for doing that. So, this case of Ana Walshe, one of those cases that I always wonder, like, how are the children, like I said, and, her Instagram was open. I don't know if it's still, available for people to see it. And by looking at her Instagram, you kind of see who you kind of get an idea of who people are by just looking at what they're posting about, the children, her work, her travels, and a very independent woman working in a different city. Will commute to Washington D.C. from Massachusetts, and was doing great things in her company in D.C., where the company she was working for. Her main dream, her main goal was to eventually move the whole family to D.C., and she was arranging, she bought a house, she was arranging everything. Co-workers came out and spoke about it and say how she was so, how she was so looking forward to have her children live with her. Like, she had very young children too. And then, I remember speaking about it and saying, Brian Walshe was basically, a stay-at-home dad, I guess you can say, because you have a traveling businesswoman, the mom of these 3 young kids, I think she had 3, who was basically, doing great things in her job, buying a house over there, getting everything ready. He's at home with the kids, right? And he also, I believe, was taking care of his mom. At some point, you guys, this type of relationship, at some point, somebody is gonna get jealous. And the thing with that, even if you don't even need to know exactly Brian's personality or Anna's personality to know, at some point, regardless if they agree or not, somebody in this relationship will get jealous because they're gonna see it as, you're never here. I'm always here dealing with the immediate responsibility of the children, and and vice versa. Somebody's gonna say, I'm over here working so hard and basically providing everything for the family. At some point, regardless if they agree or not to live like that, somebody's gonna get jealous. And the reason for that jealousy is such a dangerous thing to feel, to experience, is that jealousy eventually will lead to murder. You can rest assured, guys, it begins with slander. People will start slandering you So basically killing you with their own words, right? At some point, you know, and I'm going to read to you guys this article regarding Brian Walsh and the update regarding him. But the reason that I'm speaking about jealousy, how it is a murderer spirit that begins with envy and then it turns to a murderer spirit, regardless of how they feel in the relationship, right? Because it's good into one point that you feel like you don't want to do that anymore. Oh, why is she leaving now? Like I have to take care of the kids in the morning, bring them to school, and now she's off, to another city with basically no responsibility other than to work, right? So at some point, that's gonna play a part when this type of relationship arises, unless you are very rooted in the Lord and you are understanding the situation in the moment, and you have that patience and understanding and loving of having a relationship with Jesus Christ and your role as a husband and a wife, right? So it's like jealousy always leads to murder at some point. If it's not caught, and if it's not caught, or if it's not repented of, it's so dangerous, right? That's why you cast it out the minute you feel jealousy. And if you see somebody in your circle that you can tell there's some type of jealousy coming towards you, stay away. Because if that person doesn't go to the Lord and repent, something bad will eventually happen. Even if they give you, like, have you ever had those people that give you a gift and then they get mad at you to see you happy for that thing that they gave you? Like, are you serious? You gave me something, it makes me happy, but you're jealous that I'm happy now? It is crazy. Jealous people get jealous of you, even if you get sick and you get people getting attention to you because you are not feeling well. It's just it's crazy. And the thing with jealous people is that they take the human side out of you. And that's why it's so dangerous, right? When somebody's jealous of you, they forget that you're human. They put everybody against you and they don't care. And then they forget, oh, she has feelings. Oh, she's a human. She's a human being. They forget all of that. And that's why it's so dangerous. And I do believe when I first heard about this story about Anna and Brian and how their living situation was, I knew that the jealousy was going to come into play. Especially, and this is just my opinion. I don't remember exactly what I spoke about in early 2023 when this case came to be. I don't remember exactly word by word what I said, but I knew that jealousy at some point would play a part. This man was searching crazy stuff on the internet the night that she disappeared. He actually, because you learn a lot of what people search on the internet, right? What people are searching on the internet kind of tells you exactly who they are, what they're planning to do. Are you serious? We don't go anywhere without searching. Well, most of us, right? We don't go anywhere without searching to see, it could be like store hours, it could be what they sell, do they have it in stock? That's why, you learn so much by when they start investigation, they immediately go to the searches that they do online. And this man was so smart that he tried to use his kid's iPad to do the searches, thinking that the police was not gonna, not get to that, right? And they eventually did. So the update about Brian Walsh is this. Let me see if I can get this better so I can read it to you guys. Brian Walsh to stand trial for murder of wife Anna in Cohasset, Massachusetts next fall. So he appeared in court early in October. This is an update from October. I do apologize. But it says here that Brian Walsh, the man charged with killing his wife in their Cohasset, Massachusetts home, will stand trial for murder next fall. And it says here, the set date is October 20th, 2025. Brian Walsh faces first-degree murder, first-degree murder charges, misleading a police investigation, and other charges in the death of his wife, Ana Walshe, whose body was never recovered. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Walsh was dressed in a suit and his wrists were handcuffed as he appeared in court on Monday. It wasn't from October. He actually was in court this month on December 2nd, so a couple of weeks ago. Walsh's defense team is seeking documents related to the handling of the two cases. It says here, in the murder trial and the alleged killing of two cases. I guess they're following two cases. That's nothing to do with the Walsh case. Ana Walshe murder. Ana Walshe, who is originally from Serbia, was last seen early on January 1st, 2023, following a New Year's Eve dinner at her Massachusetts home with her husband and a family friend. I always think about that family friend that was there with them. I just feel like it's almost like they were obviously having problems, right? There was a photo of her on Instagram saying how she fell, showing a house to somebody, and people were saying that was probably her getting, that was probably a case of domestic violence. And, we always try to mask things for Instagram, for social media. Everything's perfect, right? And I feel like when I learned about that friend that was with them for dinner, there's something about that always stick to my mind. I always feel like that was some type of, it's almost like she didn't want it to be alone, just him and her. I don't know why. That always had come to my mind. When I knew that there was a family friend over for the New Year's Eve celebration, I just felt like it's very, and I think he came out and spoke and gave an interview. I just feel like a couple who travels, who she goes to a different city for work. She's out of the home probably a couple of days out of the week, and he's at home with the children. If they were going to have a New Year's Eve celebration, they would make it bigger, not just one person inviting. I felt like inviting just that person was her way of kind of like, not wanting to be just him and her. And guess what happened? That same day, that New Year's Eve celebration, she was never seen again, right? It says here that Brian Walsh said that she was called back to Washington, D.C. on New Year's Day for a work emergency. He didn't contact her employer until January the 4th. The company, the first to notify police that Ana Walshe was missing, said there was no emergency. Prosecutors have said that starting January 1st, for several days after Brian Walsh made multiple online searches for, it's crazy, but he was searching dismemberment, disposing a body, and a lot of other stuff that I'm not going to read. Prosecutors have also said that Ana Walshe has taken out $2.7 million life insurance, naming her husband as the sole beneficiary. He was also in deep legal troubles before this whole thing happened. He was, I think he had an art fraud charge. He was trying to sell an Andy Warhol painting that apparently was fake. And there was early this year, he was sentenced to more than 3 years behind bars over that fraud case involving the sale of two fake Andy Warhol paintings. He was ordered to pay $475,000 in restitution. Wall's scheme, prosecutors said, started with his selling the two original paintings in 2011 to a gallery. From there, he obtained replicas of the paintings in 2015 and sold those to a buyer in France before trying to sell the two fake abstracts on eBay. So this man was, he was a fraudster, I guess you can say, a person who lies so much, and then he's gonna just act like, oh yeah, there was a work emergency. And I remember now, and I remember what I said back then. I remember saying this man whose wife is leaving to the airport early mornings of a new year, right, New Year's Day. It doesn't have like doesn't he was saying he wasn't sure how she went to like the airport. He was unaware how she if she took a taxi cab, if she called a friend, what plane, what was her flight number, nothing like that. But she left overnight, can basically, and she was flying out to Washington D.C. Like it was so big and so obvious, right? I'm so happy that they got the internet searches that he did so that they don't let him get away. So now he has to pay the consequences of his actions, right? So let me know, guys, what you think about this. I know I haven't been following up with this case for a long time. So if there was any updates, that I kind of missed, you can leave it in the comments. Let me know what happened. If you know any information about the children, who has her children now, I know the family is from Serbia. Let me know if you guys have that information. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to the podcast. Have a good day. God bless.